Joining me now in Vancouver is Kevin O'Leary, chairman of O-Shares. Nice to see you there, Mr. O'Leary.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so you've been sort of in and around these conservative events now. I know you have a membership card now for the Conservative Party. You're at the Manning Centre conference a little bit earlier in the year. Now you're at the convention. Does this mean you are actually going to throw your name into the race? Where's your thinking on this?
Well, I joined the party this week, which is a monumental event because I'm lucky to have enough cash to do that. I'm taxed by Rachel Notley in Ontario, so I don't have any money left. The point is, I've joined the ranks of the Conservative Party because I think it's a good place for me. I'm being very transparent about this. I'm using my platform to try and influence economic and fiscal policy in Canada, which I think is subpar, broken, in some cases moronic, stupid. I've used many adjectives. But basically, as a Canadian taxpayer, I'm really pissed off now, and I plan to make some changes if I can.
Oh, is this the first time you've ever been a member of a political party?
Yes, it is. It is the first time. I just felt it would be disingenuous to come here and address this platform without having an equity membership. Now I have my full rights as a Conservative member, and I'm addressing this platform as a Conservative member and part of the party.
Okay, so you want to influence the party. You want to have a conversation about economics, but do you want to be the leader of the party or not?
Well, I have lots of options, and again, just being very straightforward about this, this is way early in the cycle. You know that. You've covered these for years. This is almost 7 months early. Nobody that is really considering this needs to declare anything till probably a time period between October and January. In the meantime, I'm keeping all of my options open. I want to be part of the new branding of this party because it's not ever going to get a majority again if it remains in the Constitution it's in now. It's just not broad enough. It's not going to appeal to enough Canadians, and the new voting constituency, including the millennials, would never vote Conservative. That's all has to change. So there's a dialogue going on here, and most of it's occurring in the bars and hotels around this convention center. It started last night. It's ongoing today. I'd like to influence that. I think I know what it takes to create a party that actually would become a majority that would be different and unique and an offering for people in Canada that are concerned about their future. And so that's the first part of this. And then the option for me, and luckily I'm enjoying this really strong support in these early polls, which many people think don't mean anything, but here's the way I look at it. I enjoy a platform that reaches 10.2 million people a week. Over 2 million of them are in Canada. 9 to 18-year-olds are my fastest growing demographic. I understand what those numbers are worth. I want to speak to those people about the future of Canada, and I can do it every single week. And what I'm going to use it for in this interim period while I make up my mind on what the best path for me to do, what I want to do, which is basically affect economic and fiscal policy, is to shine the light of transparency on the existing politicians that I think are doing a very poor job in this country, and asking them for transparency, performance metrics, and information they don't seem willing to provide.
Okay, but how does being one of the hosts on a game show or reality show allow you to shape public policy?
I'm not on any game shows. I'm an investor that puts millions of dollars to work in startup companies run by young people all across.
You're also talking about your TV reach, are you not, when you're talking about the millions of people?
I am talking, so that you understand who my TV reach is, I speak to entrepreneurs across North America, 10.2 million of them. Many young people are interested in Dragon's Den and Shark Tank because they learn how business is created and how it works. That's my constituency. I'm very proud of it. It's very hard to reach those people.
Sure.
Many people have tried, but no one's had the success that those platforms have. So don't misread. This is not a game show. We're not throwing mud at each other. We're talking about business and the future of their careers and how you're going to live your life as a member of our society.
Right,
entrepreneurship matters a lot in Canada. That's what I'm speaking to.
Right, but beyond entrepreneurship and business, what other kinds of ideas do you have for running a country in terms of public policy? What other vision do you have?
The first benefit that every country accrues is when they have a stable and growing economy that provides jobs for all their constituencies. Here's what's going to happen in Canada in the next 36 months. Number one, there'll be no job inflation in terms of wages. You will not get a higher wage. Number two, the value of your home will either be stagnant or down. That's a huge problem, but here's the killer. Here's why we've got a problem, and here's why people care. There are no jobs for people in their 20s. They're lucky to become interns working for you for $6 an hour if they're lucky. Let's face it, Trudeau will not get any jobs for them. They're the constituency that brought him into power. He will fail them miserably. I'm going to shine the light of transparency on that, and I'm going to ask Canadians to measure those metrics every quarter, and by the time the 2019 comes around, they'll have had enough of him.
So
they'll want him out.
So how do you...
They'll want an alternative solution.
Other than creating your own business or becoming an entrepreneur, how do you create jobs then in a country?
Here's how you do it, all right? When you want to create jobs, you don't just spend $113 billion at the government level. You partner with the private sector. Let me give you some specific examples of how this would work. And it's not working right now. One of the largest providers of high-paying jobs in this country is the telco sector, regulated by the CRTC. They do a very poor job in that regulation. But if we could take right now, let's say we wanted to get 10,000 jobs in this country each year for the next 2 years. We would go to the telco sector and say, listen, gentlemen, we want you all, even though you're competing with each other, to build out the next generation of digital connectivity so that everybody in this country can be connected at a high speed to the rest of the world. That's good for all of our businesses in Canada. We're going to give you a capital cost allowance, that's a tax write-off, of $10 billion per year.
Okay.
We're not going to raise the money for you. You go get that from the private sector. That's how you create jobs efficiently. What Trudeau is doing is blowing his brains out spending money in ways that he possibly can't. He will not create any jobs. He's not partnering with the private sector the way I'm suggesting this would work. Why? Because he's never run a business. He doesn't know how to do that.
Well, I mean, he's only been in office 7 months. We don't exactly know how the whole mandate's going to play out. And what they've said is they're trying to create growth. And
I just told you how
jobs.
I just told you how it's going to grow, how it's going to play out, and you're going to be able to measure it. If I'm wrong, then great, he'll be elected in the next election. I don't think I'm going to be, but I'm showing you how to measure it.
Sure.
That's what matters. You have to measure it.
Yeah, and I think you know we probably will be able to, because as you well know, it's a government that says it's interested in metrics. So hopefully we'll get some metrics at some point. But back to the other part of my question, which was why
don't we stay on that topic?
No,
wait a second. You just brought up a good point. Let's stay on it for a second.
Well, I'd like to move back to my other question,
we were promised
if I can, which is beyond the economy. What other public policy ideas do you have? Do you have any ideas in terms of how to create?
Well, I'm an extremely liberal person.
Yes. So what does that mean then?
Let me give you some examples.
Childcare, for instance.
First of all, let's take the
healthcare.
Let's take the issues of the day that are being debated. Absolutely. Let's go to assisted suicide, which is a hot topic right now. I've watched it work in Switzerland, where my stepfather's a Swiss citizen. I absolutely endorse that. We should have this in Canada, and we should do it immediately. It's the compassionate thing to do. It's an absolutely great Canadian policy. Yes, I want to legalize marijuana across the Federation. Canada should have that. We should regulate it. We should tax it, just like we do tobacco. We should take it out of the hands of criminals.
What about a carbon tax?
That should happen immediately. I don't know why we're waiting for it.
What about a carbon tax?
Absolutely, but not at the... Yes, listen, we go to the constituency, we ask the Canadian population what level of carbon taxation they would be comfortable with and ask them that. But we don't give that to the provinces to run. Look at what's happened with Rachel Notley. She's extracting $1.9 billion this next 2 years in Ontario away from people that have jobs.
In Alberta.
And it's going to be taxed to consumers. And then she is, no, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Kathleen Wynne, my mistake. Kathleen Wynne is doing $1.9 billion tax in Ontario over the next 2 years. Let's be specific on what she's doing. She's extracting that from companies that are actually employing Ontarians. Then she is personally running an opaque and untransparent slush fund where she will deploy the $1.9 billion. She will personally pick green tech companies. She has no experience in picking winners in green tech, nor does anybody in her government. She will lose all of that money and add that to the $308 billion in deficit. That's not how you play out carbon taxation. You set levels for the industrial sectors, and they use their own initiative and technology to deliver on it. She has no right to extract that from Canadian taxpayers.
Well, she's elected.
She will fail miserably.
She's elected.
I want to shine transparency on that. Listen, and so fine, then she should provide us with the transparency and performance metrics.
Sure.
You suggested we should have that. Yeah. She works for me. She is an employee of mine. I'm a taxpayer. I want the numbers. I want them every quarter. She promised me every quarter that she would reduce carbon emissions. Show me.
Fair enough. Okay, so let me end on this, because we could talk for a long time, as you know. Do you want to be prime minister? Is this a goal in your life?
And I'm enjoying it so much. I wish we could. I have multiple options.
That's not really an answer, though.
Yeah. I'm going to give you an answer that makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Number one is, why should I choose now? Why would anybody? This decision will occur between October and January of this year. This whole cycle is way too early. Number two, if I enjoy and maintain these poll results, I can go one of two ways. As you know, and I'm being very transparent with you, I'm interested in affecting economic and fiscal policy. So I do that either as a leader with a majority government, or I find a way to do it some other way, as a kingmaker perhaps, for somebody else in this party. I have multiple choices. I'm going to keep all my options open.
Do you have anyone that's helping you organize? I mean, surely you know now that you've been in the hallways there for 24 hours anyway, that people like Jason Kenney have an enormous number of people behind him. Peter MacKay, same thing. These are people that have helped them before, will help them again. Who will help you?
That's great. I think the 2.1 million Canadians who send me 10,000 emails a month, they'll help me. I'm not worried about it.
But that's a fan club. That's not an political organizing committee.
No, my friend, that's a vote. That's what that is. That's a vote.
But you have to translate that into a vote.
I think that's very powerful. I'm not worried. Absolutely. And I'm confident I can do that. And I have plenty of time to do it. What's unique about my situation, and let's be, basically, it's a huge advantage. I reach those people every single week. Every week I talk to them. They listen to me. Some may agree with me, some not. It looks like right now many agree. And what I have to do now is add the infrastructure, if I wish to support and turn that support into a political machine.
But are you talking to people? Is my question. Are you talking there? This is a party with a legacy.
Are you kidding? That's why I'm here.
Okay, so you're making some inroads. That's your goal this weekend.
Everybody.
Okay. All right.
Oh, look, I'm here. I was up till 2 in the morning talking to everybody in the Conservative Party is here. We're all having an interesting dialogue. Everybody's being very interesting about their own intentions. I think that's great. I'm speaking to the party insiders and its leadership. That's all terrific. The party is in the process of redefining itself. It's like watching sausage being made. But I bet you when it's over, it's going to taste good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Thank you, Kevin O'Leary. Always good to chat with you. Appreciate your time today, sir.
Take care.